Man, so it's a sad day, man. This is Riddlouche, Mr. Live on location. And yeah, man, it's a sad day. Uh, Nipsey Hussle, according to all the media reports I've seen the last hour, he passed away. Um, he was shot in the head earlier today, about an hour or two ago in Los Angeles, right outside of one of his own stores in LA. Not really familiar with LA, but I've been there a few times. I'm in the Midwest, so I've been there a few times. But yeah, Nipsey Hussle, unfortunately, according to the reports, was shot in the head right in front of his store in LA, and then about an hour after that, he passed away. Um, Condolences to him and his family. I hope it ain't true. Say it ain't so. I hope the news reports were wrong, man, but that's all the reports that I'm seeing. So it's a very sad day. I'm very sad to hear this news. I've listened to Nipsey Hussle ever since about 2013, 2014 or so. You know, back when, I'm not from the street, so a lot of his music kind of goes over my head, but I can still feel the vibe, you know what I'm saying? And still feel the sense of entrepreneurialism in his hustle. You can feel the hustle in his music, you know? Because he had the clothing line early with the Slauson tees and Crenshaw on the tees, on the t-shirts. And when I wanted to learn about LA, a lot of the times when I was curious about LA, I would put on some Nipsey Hussle and he could tell you, you could learn a lot of stuff about LA just by listening to Nipsey. So that's how I first came across his music because I was curious about LA and what it's like out there. And I Googled like LA rappers and he came up. And that's how I first got aware of his music because a lot of his music was just his own mixtapes. He wasn't signed, back in like 2012, 2013, 2014. And he had like a bunch of mixtapes with a bunch of songs like Fly Crippin', not condoning being in a gang, but it is what it is for people that in those circumstances they did whatever they had to do. So, but yeah, one of the songs I always remember that he had was from back when was Fly Crippin'. I was listening to his music, like I said before, a lot of other people got in tune with him, but you know, I remember the Fly Crippin', Bullets Ain't Got No Name mixtape series. Um, I can't remember the titles of a lot of the songs, but you know what I'm saying? Just knowing the melody, just remembering the music melody and stuff, you know. But a lot of his music, like the Look at My Car, I remember that song. I forget the exact title of it, but he had one song that was like basically just celebrating his accomplishments. It was like, look at my car, look at my clothes, look at my. And the beat was hard, man. But it was just motivational. A lot of his music was motivational. Very motivational. Even though I was all the way in Miami at the time, I would listen to his music and I was motivated, man, to try to be the best I could be in my day to day life, because he had that it factor in him. You could feel it through his music, man. Even if like me. I'm not from the street, but you can still feel him because he just had that universal connection in his music, man. So, and shout out to Blue Angel in Las Vegas as well. Rest in peace to Blue Angel as well. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle as well. The coincidence, Blue Angel was also from the West Coast or from the western side of the United States. I listened to a lot of his music too. And, he came from a street perspective. I could feel a lot of his music, even though I'm not from the street. I could relate to the universal feel of the music, you know. And unfortunately, we lost two of my favorite artists in 1 year, man. Blue Angel from Las Vegas passed away in January, and then now Nipsey Hussle. So, man, I think that we gotta really take a step back as a culture, whether you're from the street or whether you're working a 9 to 5 job or whether you're an investor or whether you're an executive or whether you're in a gang or whether you're not, or whether you or whether you are in an organization or whether you are not, whatever you want to call it, if you have no affiliation, if you have an affiliation, whatever you want to call it. I think as people, man, from the urban community, we all gotta take this time to try to reflect and love those that we have. Come together, man. All your friends, all your family, as an urban community, man, as people of color, we gotta come together, especially as young men. I'm coming from Chicagoland, Chicagoland. We're going through the same things that brothers in LA is going through, that brothers in Las Vegas is going through, that brothers in New York is going through. We all going through the same types of things, man. And I think we should take this time with the losses that have been had, especially with this loss of Nipsey Hussle, man, which I hope it's not true. I hope he pulls through. But according to the media reports, he's passed away. So I think we should take this time, man, to put the guns down. Sorry about that. I hope we can take this time, man, to put the guns down, to pick the gloves up, any beefs, any squabbles, any disagreements, man. Let's box it out. Let's put on the gloves and box it out. Let's take this opportunity to move differently as a culture, man. Instead of shooting it out, if you got a beef, you got a squabble, man. Can't brothers box it out. Let's put on the gloves, put on the mouthpiece, a real mouthpiece like they wear in a boxing gym. Put on the real gloves, boxing gloves, and squabble it out, man. Let's start a new trend in Chicagoland. Let's start a new trend in Los Angeles. Let's start a new trend in Miami, Atlanta, New York. Squabble it out. Guns down. Box it out, man. Young brothers, let's box it out, Young females ain't killing each other. So young brothers, let's not kill each other as well. Let's box it out. Real talk, man. That's all I can say. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. Of course, I never met him. I only knew him through his music, but I connected with him through his music, man. I was a fan of his music. He motivated me through his music, and it's sad that he passed away, man. Shout out to the whole movement. Shout out to the Marathon Clothing. Shout out to the pop-up store he opened up, the technology store he was opening up. Shout out to his whole hood. Shout out to all the people that loved him. Shout out to his family. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. Riddlouche, Mr. Live on Location. I'm out.